Hello everyone and welcome to another Magic Online video. I am Braun-Duin and I'm going to be battling today with a modern deck actually, not sticking with the standard norms, and I'm playing actually a Collected Company Abzan deck, and we saw that this deck actually won a Premier IQ a few weeks ago, and I have been testing with it ever since, and I've made actually quite a large number of changes to the deck, so I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the deck, what makes it tick, and some of the sweet things about it before piloting through a daily event. And I've actually been playing a lot with this deck, and I think it's really good, and I like it enough where I'm probably going to I won't say probably, but there's a good chance I'll play it in some upcoming modern tournaments. So, and I'm going to continue to work on it in the meantime. So let's go ahead and look at it and see what sweet things we have here. So, start with, we have 4 Core to Calling and 4 Collected Company, and this is the core of the deck. We have Collected Company as the engine, and then Core to Calling is kind of the silver bullet. We use Collected Company to fill the board with a bunch of cheap creatures, and then Core to Calling finishes the job off. So you notice that, of our 28 creatures, 26 of them are cheap enough to put into the battlefield off of Collected Company, and only 2 of them are more expensive than Collected Company. They both serve specific purposes. So, start with, we have 6 mana dudes or 8 total mana creatures between Birds, Noble, and Walroots, and it's okay to find these off of Collected Company too. Obviously, you prefer to find some meat, but sometimes hitting these guys is fine because it sets you up for future. And really, the core engine of the deck is Collected Company to hit Eternal Witness to return Collected Company back to your hand. That's really sweet. And then we actually have the combo of the deck, which is Viscera Seer, either Anafenza the Kintree Spirit, or Malira Sylvok Outcast, and then Kitchen Finks. And this lets us gain infinite life, these 3 cards. So we use Viscera Seer to sacrifice Kitchen Finks. It comes back into play. If a Malira is in play, it doesn't have a -1 counter on it, so you get to just repeat that ad nauseum. If Anafenza is in play, it does have a -1/-1 counter on it, but Anafenza is going to bolster, and you get to put another counter back on the Kitchen Finks, and then sacrifice it again to the Viscera Seer. You get to loop that, gain 2 life each time you do it. You can loop it infinite times, and you get to scry as many times as you want as well. Generally speaking, you get to scry, and you're going to scry into something like Core to Calling, and leave that on top. And then you can use that Core to Calling the next turn to find Murderous Redcap, and Viscera Seer, Anafenza, Murderous Redcap, or Viscera Seer, Malira, Murderous Redcap is infinite chunks of 2 damage, much the same way that Seer, Anafenza, and Kitchen Finks is chunks of 2 life. And with Viscera Seer, Anafenza, and Redcap, though, it's important to stack the triggers such that Anafenza puts the counter on before Redcap deals the damage. Otherwise, you're just dealing chunks of 1 damage, which can be relevant. Past that point, we have some good value creatures. We have Fiend Hunter and Spellskite, which both serve nice roles, where we can get Fiend Hunter to kill a creature with it's something you find off a Collected Company or Cord for as a removal spell, and Spellskite also Collected Company or Cord. Very good against a variety of decks like Infect, Boggles, and Splinter Twin as well. Just good to have access to this. A couple removal spells. I didn't like having any in the deck, but this deck has issues with Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze can interrupt this combo by exiling Kitchen Finks with a persist on the stack. So having a ways to kill Scavenging Ooze is nice. Fiend Hunter is another way to do it, but it's not reliable because they can kill it pretty easily, although you can stack the trigger and sacrifice it to Viscera Seer as well. And then we also have Shriekmaw, which can kill it if we cord for 5. But if we also draw Shriekmaw, it's cool too. It's a 2 mana removal spell along with Decay, so we have 3. And we can also, the sweet thing about Shriekmaw is it actually triggers Anafenza too and uses it as a removal spell. So that's kind of cool. And then we have a single Mirror Entity as well as a card to find as just a way to kill our opponents sometimes when we're struggling to win the game. And sometimes we collect a company like 4 times in a game and we just have a board of a bunch of random crappy creatures, but we can't get the job done. If we don't draw a township, sometimes we need another way to get through, and Mirror Entity is something we can cord for end of turn, untap, attack them with 10 6/6s or something and kill them. Sideboard, we have 3 Thoughtseizes and 2 Paths. These are the only spells, though, because we're playing Collected Company and Quarter Calling as our main engine, so we don't want too many non-creature spells. However, Thoughtseize and Path are both very good with Eternal Witness because they cost 1 mana, and you can Thoughtseize them, Witness back Thoughtseize, Thoughtseize them again, or Thoughtseize Path, or Eternal Witness and Path, along with Decay as a lot of removal spells too. So Eternal Witness is pretty sweet with cheap spells, much like Den Protector and Standard. Past that point, we have Firewalkers for mono red, Voice for a variety of matchups, including control decks, blue combo decks like Splinter Twin, and it also can be good in like grindier matchups sometimes, like decks with Liliana the Veil. Excuse me. We have another Spellskite, because it's so good in the matchups where it's good. A Sin Collector, Pontiff, and a Reclamation Sage. Sin Collector, good in a variety of matchups as well, from ranging from burn to control decks, and even things like Splinter Twin. Pontiff is very good against like Affinity or a lot of X1 decks, and then Sage just as a way to destroy artifacts or enchantments. It may seem weird to only have one of this type of effect, but we have Collected Company and Core to find it, and we have Eternal Witness to loop it over and over and over again. So we actually have a lot of recursion with a lot of our cards. So I guess one last thing I want to mention is sometimes we will value Cord for 3 to get Eternal Witness to return Cord of Calling, just to get a free 2/1 when we have extra mana and we don't have a specific card we're looking to get. So a lot of cool things that you can do with this deck, and it's been playing pretty well. Only 22 lands, 2 townships. I do have double Temple Garden and 4 Razorverge Thicket because we're trying to cast Anafenza on 2, Fiend Hunter, and also like Core Firewalker out of the board. So we do have a pretty heavy white commitment along with green, so it's worth finding some white sources as well. But yeah, that's the Collected Company deck. Hopefully you guys will stick around and watch 4 rounds of a daily event where we will jam this and hopefully do pretty well with it.